Help me hit 7,000 subscribers. Support the video with a like and share your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone, thank you. I never imagined that a simple joke could unravel everything I thought I knew about my life, my marriage, and even my own sense of security. My name is Evelyn, I'm 34, and I've been married to Marcus for 8 years. We have a 5-year-old son, Oliver, who brings light into every corner of our home. To everyone else, we seemed like the perfect family, laughing at dinner, sharing stories on weekends, a picture of domestic happiness. But life has a way of revealing cracks in the foundation when you least expect it. It all started last Sunday morning. I had stayed home to finish some work while Marcus took Oliver to the park. When I peeked through the window, I saw them laughing together, Oliver swinging as high as he could, his small hands gripping the ropes with pure joy. Marcus, as always, was teasing him, making silly faces, and I felt a warm smile cross my face. Then I overheard Marcus joking with Oliver in that easy, familiar way he always does. "I think your mom would be so proud of you. She'd probably even brag to all her friends about her talented little boy," he said, ruffling Oliver's hair. I froze mid-step in the kitchen, my heart tightening in a way I didn't expect. It was such a simple, innocent joke, or so it seemed, but something about the timing, the tone, the casual ease in his voice made my chest constrict. I watched as Oliver giggled, his laughter pure, untainted by the weight of adult worries, and for a fleeting second, I felt that familiar warmth. Then it hit me. The joke carried a subtle truth I wasn't ready to confront. By the time they came back home, the air was already thick with tension, even though neither of them knew it yet. Marcus waved at me casually, oblivious, probably expecting me to smile and laugh. But I didn't. I walked over to him, my voice calm, measured, but sharp enough to slice through the casual lightness of the morning. "Marcus, we need to talk. Now." He froze, holding Oliver's hand. I saw a flicker of panic in his eyes, but I pressed on, guiding them gently into the living room. Oliver, as usual, didn't notice anything wrong. His laughter still echoed softly in the corners of the room, blissfully unaware of the tension that had suddenly taken over the space. I tried to gather my thoughts, to steady my voice before saying the words I had been carrying for months, a gnawing suspicion I had never voiced. "I called the clinic this morning," I said finally, my voice almost mechanical, stripped of the hesitations that had plagued me for weeks. "For a DNA test, for Oliver." Marcus blinked, frozen mid-step. "The clinic?" he asked, his voice uncertain. "Are you serious?" I nodded slowly, the weight of my decision pressing down on me. "Yes, I am." For a long moment, silence stretched across the room. Oliver was sitting quietly on the couch, absorbed in a cartoon, completely oblivious to the storm brewing around him. Marcus didn't say anything at first. I could see the conflict in his eyes, the disbelief, the hurt, and maybe even the fear of what this test might reveal. I realized then that a joke, a fleeting comment meant to celebrate our son's innocence and our family's accomplishments, had triggered this. My mind raced, trying to anticipate his reaction, the questions he might ask, the frustration he might feel. And yet, beneath the tension, beneath the fear and uncertainty, there was something else. An urgent need to know the truth, no matter how painful it might be. I handed him the clinic appointment form, the date and time written in bold letters. I watched his fingers tremble slightly as he took it. There was no anger in me, no malice. This wasn't about revenge or mistrust. It was about certainty, about needing clarity after months of doubt that I had tried to suppress. As I looked at Marcus, his expression a mix of confusion and apprehension, I felt a pang of guilt. He hadn't done anything wrong, not really. But trust, I realized, is fragile. It can fracture silently, almost imperceptibly, until a single moment, a joke, a passing remark, an unspoken fear, becomes the catalyst for a confrontation you never thought would happen. If you've ever faced a moment where a simple comment spiraled into doubt, hit like and share this story. Help others understand how fragile trust can be in relationships. I moved to the window, looking out at the quiet street, letting the hum of the day fill the space between us. The world outside seemed normal, peaceful even, while inside, the tension coiled around every word left unsaid. Marcus stayed quiet, probably trying to find the right words, but I knew this wasn't something we could solve with humor or casual conversation. Finally, I spoke again, softer this time. Marcus, I need to be sure. For Oliver. I need to know where we stand. Who we really are. The words hung in the air, delicate and dangerous. I watched him process them, trying to gauge his reaction, to see if he understood the gravity of this moment. This wasn't a joke. It wasn't a threat. It was a plea for truth in a world that had started to feel increasingly uncertain. The next few days were unbearable. I couldn't focus on work, couldn't sleep properly. Every time I glanced at Oliver, I felt a mixture of love, fear, and guilt. I kept replaying Marcus's reaction over and over in my mind, wondering how he would handle it when the appointment came. Would he be angry, defensive, or quietly cooperative? I didn't know, and that uncertainty gnawed at me. Finally, the day of the clinic arrived. I drove in silence, Oliver chattering happily in the back seat, oblivious to the tension, while Marcus followed behind, quiet, composed, his jaw tight. His hands gripping the steering wheel like he was holding on to control itself. The car ride felt like a slow march toward something I had been dreading for months. Inside the clinic, the air smelled of antiseptic and uncertainty. We filled out the forms, answered the same questions I had already answered in my head 1,000 times, and then it was time. Marcus went first, and I watched him submit the sample without a word. I wanted to say something, anything to ease the weight between us, but I couldn't. Silence had become our companion. As I handed over my sample, Marcus finally spoke, his voice low and cautious. "Evelyn, I know why you're doing this, but are you sure this is necessary?" I looked at him, searching his eyes for any hint of anger. There was none, only concern, confusion, and an underlying hurt that mirrored my own. "Marcus, I have to know," I said softly. "For Oliver. For both of us. I need certainty. I can't keep wondering." He nodded slowly, and for a brief moment, it felt like we were on the same side again, united by love for our son, even if we were still at odds in trust. But the truth is, a DNA test isn't just numbers and science. It's a mirror. It reflects fears, doubts, and secrets that we sometimes hide even from ourselves. We left the clinic in silence. Oliver hummed a tune in the back seat, oblivious, swinging his little hands on the door handle. I reached over and squeezed Marcus's hand, and he didn't pull away. That small touch felt monumental, a bridge over a chasm of doubt that had formed almost overnight. Comment below your thoughts. Have you ever had to take a step like this to protect your family? Share your experiences. Let's discuss how difficult decisions shape relationships. The waiting period was excruciating. Every notification on my phone made my heart skip a beat. Every message from Marcus carried weight I couldn't ignore. And when the results finally came, I was alone in the living room, holding Oliver on my lap. I opened the envelope with shaking hands, my breath caught in my throat. He was ours. Completely. The relief was almost overwhelming, and I felt a weight lift off my chest. But the moments of fear, suspicion, and doubt had already changed us. They had forced us to confront the parts of our marriage we often ignored, the silent resentments, the unspoken insecurities. That night, I sat with Marcus after putting Oliver to bed. We didn't need to talk much. Just sitting together side by side felt like reconciliation. Our hands found each other naturally, and we both exhaled a breath we didn't realize we had been holding. I looked at him, really looked at him, and said, "I'm sorry for letting doubt take over." He shook his head, his voice soft, steady. "No, Evelyn. Get it. I know you just wanted certainty. And honestly, I needed it too." Type trust in the comments if you believe relationships survive when honesty is prioritized, even when it's uncomfortable. Let's create a conversation about trust and love. In the days that followed, life slowly returned to normal. Oliver's laughter filled the house again without the underlying tension. We learned that even the strongest bonds can wobble under fear, but they can also be reinforced by facing those fears head-on. The DNA test didn't just confirm what we already knew, It reminded us that transparency and courage are vital in marriage. I realized something important through all this. Doubt isn't always a sign of weakness or betrayal. It can be a signal to pause, reflect, and rebuild. And sometimes a simple joke meant to celebrate joy can trigger that necessary confrontation. What matters is how you respond after the storm, how you repair the cracks before they widen. Like this story, comment your perspective on handling delicate family matters, and subscribe for more real-life stories that remind us how honesty, courage, and love intertwine in everyday life. I don't know if Marcus and I will ever forget the fear of those few days, but I do know that we are stronger now. We learned to listen, to communicate, and to face uncomfortable truths together. Oliver's laughter is back, brighter than ever, and every time I see it, I remember that even the hardest moments can lead to growth, understanding, and deeper love.